Have you felt the urge of quitting the Python programming language because you just want to execute a line of code for 100 times, but you just don't want to write that line 100 times because it will consume times? And by the way, it really. But I have a method for you. You just want to be writing two lines of code and it will execute that line of code for 100 times just like that. So here we are in the VS Code and I'm going to teach you the loops. So actually what are loops? The concept of loop is actually a line of code that is executing, you know, many times for a certain number of times. You just have to put that number and it will execute for that amount of time. But today in this video I'm going to teach you the concept like while loop, for loop, and loop control statements, and how they are working, what are the syntax. So let's do it. Okay, so the first one is the for loop. Okay, so what is for loop? Now if you know the iteration, that how many times you just want to execute a code repeatedly, so you would use the for loop. Okay, if I just want to say like I just want to print a line that says my name, so and it I want to execute it for 100 times, so I know exactly how many times I want to execute that. So it's gonna be I'm gonna be using the for loop. Okay, like for example, if I say that for now, if you print it, what he just did, I met Academy 1 2 3 4 5. It executing 5 times in just a second. So let's understand the structure over here. Actually, the for is the keyword for the loop, and the I over here is actually a variable that stores a value every time the loop goes through iteration. A range is actually a function, and that function is defining a limit, for example from 0 to 5. But here is the thing that it will not execute for 6 times. For example, if you just say like 0 1 2 3 4 5, it is 6 times, but it's not going to do that. Why? Because the 5 over here is the exclusive. One is the inclusive and the other one is exclusive. So the 5 is exclusive, and it will just print like 0 1 2 3 4 up to 4. When it becomes 5, the loop will be ended and it will break out. Okay, so for example, for the first one, which is 0, so the first iteration, the 0 will be stored in the I. Okay, and if you just want to print the I as well, so you can do it like I. And if I execute this, you can see that the variable I is also printing as well for each iteration. Actually the colon here says that whatever comes after the colon, that will be printed for each iteration. For example, that print over here will be printed for each iteration. So let's go to the next one, that is while loop. Okay, so what actually the while loop is, I have told you that when you know exactly how many iteration you want, so you will lose the for loop. But if you don't know how many iteration I just want, so I will lose the while loop. It is saying that while a certain condition is true, you have to execute it, whether that is becomes infinity or whatever is that. But you just have to execute that each time if the condition is true. I just want to give you a very simple example like while the condition is true, you just have to print hello. Okay, and if I run this, you will see that it is printing. Now the code is executing no matter how much it is just executing. You can see that the code is running. Okay, but I just want to make it clarify that how does it is working. So I just want to give it more time, okay, between each iteration, so you will understand it very quickly. For example, if I say that import time, okay, and then I say that After each iteration, you will have to give a certain time dot sleep, for example 1 second. Okay, and if I run this, it will take 1 second sleep after each iteration. Like, as you can see that after each second it is printing the hello. Now we will learn the loop control statements, the continue, the break, and the pause statement. So let's just do it. So what is the break statement? For example, if I just want to say that you have to iterate through the loop, but if a certain condition is satisfied, you don't have to execute it. You just have to break the loop. Okay, I have just written out the break statement, and the structure over here is the while loop. I have just defined a variable over here which is empty. Then I have defined the variable, the while loop, which is saying that if response is not equal to quit, you have to iterate. So if I didn't enter the quit, it will iterate each time. Okay, then I will have to say the response equal input. I'm taking input from the user and storing it in the response, and then if statement that if response equal quit, then you will have to break the loop and it will terminate the program. Okay, then it is saying that print you enter this number. If I run this, okay, now here is the statement. And if I just print anything, like I just want to say like my name is Junaid, so you entered Junaid. Okay, it is calling this. The break statement is not calling. If I enter Azad, it is printing the Azad. If I enter the Adan, it is printing the Adan. If I enter Walid, it is printing Walid. So if I enter quit, what will happen? The program is terminated. And that is the magic of the break statement. Now we have another statement called continue. So what does the continue does? So it says that if the certain condition is satisfied, it will break that specific iteration and it will go towards the next iteration without terminating the whole program. Okay, let's execute this. What it is doing, it is just filtering the even numbers and it is just printing the odd numbers. Let me just explain. And this is the variable and having 10 number. This is the range and I put it the 10 over here, so the range is taking it from 0 to 10. Okay, and the I is taking each number from the range function. Okay, if I mod 2 equal 0, it means that the number is divided by the 2 and the remainder is 0, so the number is even. So if the number is even, you will have to call the continue statement, and when the continuous statement is called, it will not print that function. Okay, and it will just go towards the next iteration. So in the next iteration the odd number will come and this condition will not be satisfied and it will print that number. Now another one is the pass statement. Pass statement. So what does the pass statement does? Actually, when you want to write a code syntactically and you need that code must in your program, but you just don't want to execute anything in that line of function or like say condition, but you just have to write that. So you will use the pause statement. For example, if I just want to say like okay, and if I print this, it is doing nothing, it's just passing the value, but I did have to write this. Okay, so this was all about the loops in the Python and different types of loop like for loop, the while loop, and the loop statements, the break, continue, etc. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel in order to be notified for each and every new video. Thank you and have a nice day.